And just like that, hello, 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 hello out there in YouTube land. Chat rules, please be over the age of 17 and please always be kind to one another. And those are the only two chat rules. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Oh, hello, Shara. Look at what I have out for you. I'm sorry. It's too early for me to snort. Wait a minute. Hi, Kim. Oh, my goodness. Hang on. I shouldn't have snorted. All right, pop out chat. And let me move. I'm trying to, ladies, I'm always discombobulated. And I'm just working on getting combobulated. All right, there we go. And now everything fits where it's supposed to. Hello, Elizabeth E. Hello, Tammy Baker. Wait, I am here this weekend. Oh, yay. Hello, Heather. And hello, Barb. And hello, Leah. And oh my goodness. Ooh, Christina. No A, just Christine. I love it. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. And I don't know, I'm in a little bit of a goofy mood. What can I tell you? How's everything? Sound okay? Picture okay? Hello, Louise. Oh, Leah, no problem. It was a joke, honey. You may call me whatever you like. Whatever you like. I answer to all of it. And anyway, so I should explain why I have this out and why I was pointing it out to Shara. So Shara and I were in CBC Heather's stream last night. Oh, Mrs. Coffee. Hello, my dear. And welcome, welcome. And at any rate, so Shara and I were in CBC Heather, CBC coloring out of Australia. Hello, Heather. Or hello, Melanie. Sorry. Hang on 1 second. Let me get through the story and I'll get back to saying hellos. And Shara said, within my hearing, I don't know what to color and I don't know what to color it with. And I said, color in Flowers and Flyers, my book, of course. Color the Baltimore Oriole and color with Loomies. And she said she would use Light Fast instead. I don't know what that means. But this was the Baltimore Oriole. So what I want to know is, Shara, did you do it? And could you see the reflection of the bird in the water? And hello, Robin. And hello, Melody. Huge hug. And past 2 a.m., still trying to sleep. Okay. We're in that cycle of the year, Melody, where I can't sleep. I am sleeping, you guys, I sleep in the weirdest pattern. It's not really a pattern. It's more like a down for 4 hours, up for 6 hours, down for an hour, up for 2 hours, down for 15 minutes, up for 5 hours. It's like, my goodness. I am falling asleep sitting at my desk. And, oh no, you're in the buff. I know that just means her little wheel is spinning. So how is everybody this week? Derwent Light Fast Pencils. Got it. All right. So that's what she was coloring this with. And hopefully it turned out beautifully. And, you know, Barb, yeah, but it's weird. It's like, because what it does is it causes me to really sort of lose track of how fast the days are speeding by. So that's like, I finally remembered last night that I keep meaning, because I remember, guys, I told you that I had this toilet repair thing that I had to do. And I thought that the order was going to be in, and then it didn't come. And so I thought, you may need to refresh, Shara. Um, at any rate, and I just kept forgetting to check on it. And finally, I discovered why I didn't get the order. Apparently, I never pressed order. I chose how I wanted to pay for it. I chose all that kind of stuff. I just never submitted the order. So I have submitted the order, and it's now going to be here on Tuesday. Really, really. So I was sitting here thinking nasty things about Amazon, and it turns out it was user error. Okay. Hello, Gary. Okay, so I am working on a new drawing. I don't know where it's going yet. It's just out, it's just some rough geometry there and a couple of little ideas of shapes, but I'm working on that. So that is coming along. Sometimes I just have to wait until this stuff comes into my head. Wow, I have a lot of moderators. That is a ton of blue on the board. Thank you all for being here. Okay, this is, I thought that we would either color a background on this using Neos today, or we could continue on with this, or we could do whatever you want. Do you guys have a preference, or do you want to leave it up to me? I mean, I just want to make sure that my show sort of indicates that I do in fact draw stuff that hopefully is fun to color and all of that. And hello, Louise. And my goodness, it's just so lovely to see everybody. And oh, you're very, very welcome. This book, yeah, isn't it wonderful? Oh, it really is wonderful. I am going to continue on. Oh, I'm sorry that, oh, Susan. Oh, huge hug. Huge hug, honey. I've heard what's going on with your eyes. I know that your surgery is scheduled for what, the 8th, I think. And please know that my prayers are with you from everything that I have seen, Susan. And I'm sure your surgeons have told you, hopefully it can be repaired. So, so I am just right there. I'm gonna keep you in my very, 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 high in my thoughts and prayers, honey, because I know it's got to be scary as all get out. For those who might not know, Susan has a detached retina in one of her eyes, so it's really scary. So I'm pretty sure that's not a secret since Sammy said it on out in public. But honey, I love you. Please, know that our thoughts are with you. For those who might be wondering, I was able to get a hold of my best friend in in Arizona. It is exactly as I suspected. She was phone was inside the house. When we retire, the last thing in the world we do is think about the whereabouts of our cell phone after a while. And so, she's now been retired down there for about a year. Her cell phone stays in the house. Her life goes on, mostly outside the house. She had no idea I'd been trying to reach her. So needless to say, when I blubbered as she answered the phone, and, and I'm muttering, thank God, thank God, thank God. You know, she's like, what? So then we proceeded to yak for the next 3.5 hours. So it was really nice to talk to her and, squeeze some of that time in. And oh, well, okay, yes, because she can't probably see it. Susan, Melody says that she loves you and that you are in her prayers as well. So, and as I don't know if you can read all of these, but pretty much everybody is saying the same thing. So we all you are just such a big part of the community, and we can hardly wait until you can see the screen and see the colors and see the gorgeous world again. Okay, I really want to play with my Neo colors, mostly because I haven't played with them in a while, and I thought that I could do a background. Now, I had told Heather, Heather Color and Felt, no, Heather, Australian Heather, yes. So we have Heather Color and Felt and Heather Australian Heather. So Australian Heather did a picture in Dramenwanger. She did it in 7 parts. It turned out beautifully. And so if you want to see that, the 7 parts are on her channel. And I think it's CBC Coloring Club is the name of her channel. And she used a really dark, a dark but bright, intense blue. Basically, every blue in Prismacolors. And she hand colored a background. And then she did the flowers in a gorgeous golden yellow and then used purple for the centers. And it created such a gorgeous pop of color. And then she used a very neutral tone. It was the picture that she did in Dramenwanger. And I happen to have Dramenwanger, was the big mushroom. This one right here. And so she did all of these flowers in this yellow with this blue background. It was just beautiful. And so I told her I was going to steal her color palette for this today. I had already done this. Now, this is much simpler coloring, but I think that a lot of us, or at least me, I've been working on this, which is pretty complex. But I also like simple coloring, and because you can make simple coloring spectacular with just a few tricks, I guess. The tricks, of course, being, really cool backgrounds or textures, or, pulling out the gel pens and making flashy bits. You can really oomph up simple coloring. So you can satisfy both if you're just not feeling up to something complex today, which I'm really not. You can do that. And so that's what I wanted to demonstrate. That's what today is going to be about. So there will be another video, of course, where I will oops, am I still on autofocus? Shame on me. Shame on me, because that means that camera's been throbbing. I apologize to everybody. We will continue on with this when we'll tackle yet another part of the building. I think I'm going to do this one next. This is actually all integrated into one, but I really think it's going to be a 2-parter, trying to get all of that done. So, hello, Mona. Nice to see you. And oh, by the way, in the description, there are two things that are worthy of note. One of them is for those who might be new here or who watch it later, because I have some new subscribers, there is a 25% discount coupon to my Etsy shop, to PDFs, books, and sets in the description below. And James Taylor has finally made his very own YouTube channel. Now, those of us who grew up listening to James Taylor are thrilled, needless to say. He's got like 175,000 subscribers. Yes, an Etsy discount, 25% off um, all the books and all of the sets of drawings. So the 4 sets and the 5 sets and all of that. The stuff that comes in sets is included in the sale. I would do it on the individual pages, but at 25%, I actually lose money on the individual pages. It costs me more to maintain the listings than it does to that I can get back by selling one. Anyway, so that's why I don't put them on the individual pages anymore. But at any rate, so I've included a link down there in the description below for anybody that wants to just shortcut to James Taylor. A lot of his music saved a lot of us when we were young. And plus he's just such a character. You should see him interacting with the screen, and he's going, now if you look around, there's a subscribe button here somewhere. I just love him anyway. A voice of my generation. Okay, now if you do not have one of these nifty Caran d'Ache fancy $10 palettes, never fear, because a piece of a cheapo $1 cutting mat will do you just fine. Okay. You can get that at the dollar store, wherever you live. I'm sure there's some place that has a dollar store. And I've also got a bigger one down here just to, I don't know, protect the desk from the water. I've got 2 little jars of water because, of course, Neos are water mediums. Now, that will be an immediate invitation for the cat to come up here on the desk with having open water, but we shall see if the cat comes. And we will go for it without further ado. And hello, Kathy Nichols, and all the folks, anybody that I may have missed coming in. Now, I was lucky enough to get a 20 or a 40 set of Neo-colored shoes on Etsy. Now, I scored these a couple of years ago. In addition to that, I have 10 more. Hang on a second. I just have to find them. Now, in case you wonder, I am surrounded on all sides by coloring supplies, and yet I can never find exactly what I'm looking for. Right when I'm looking for it. So I'll just have to find those later, because there's probably not a lot of colors that I need that I don't currently have. Okay, so I am going to start with just some blues. I'm going to start with a pretty, and yes, I have in fact, excuse me, swatched out They were the very first things that I swatched out were my Neo colors. Oops. Oh no. And so I want to pick some colors out. All right, so I know that I want the light blue, the cobalt blue, the Prussian blue, and maybe the night blue. Okay, so all of these blues. This is actually a purple, but I'm going to take it as well. I'm also, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, and this one. And we're going to go for that. We're also going to take just a little bit of no, we're not. No, we're not. Just trying to decide how it is that I want it to look. And Mrs. Copy, how are things going up there in diamond painting land? For those of you who might not know, Mrs. Copy, you have to be living under a rock, of course. Mrs. Copy has an absolutely fantastic channel. She does all sorts of diamond painting and tells you about her life and times of living in North Dakota with her husband and her children, and her aversion to wearing pants, and and all kinds of good things. Oh, you are a sweetheart. Thank you, ma'am. Never apologize for shopping, Mrs. Copy. But she also does wonderful unboxings of the newest items available from the various diamond painting manufacturing companies. I saw one on your channel the other day that was just gorgeous. I went looking for it, and apparently it hadn't been released yet. And then by the time I looked at it again, or remembered to go back and look at it, it was sold out. So yeah, it's things are going great. Halloween season is I'll bet. And yeah, I'll bet. And I love diamond painting. I don't have as much time for it as I would like. I do have one going at the moment that is pretty. Now, in case people don't know, this is what a Neo is a water soluble crayon. And let me see if I can improve this camera setup just a little bit. Zoom me in a little and see if I can make that a little bit. Whoa, actually, I think it was much warmer the way that I had it. I think that looks pretty true to color. Been doing a bit of drawing and coloring with the kids. Oh, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now, also, we have in the house, we have Color and Felt Heather, who has not only a wonderful coloring channel, but also does these incredible felting projects. So between the two of these ladies, myself and Shara also has a coloring channel. Hers is more color and chat with her. But I mean, so I'm learning about felting from Heather, which is just an amazing thing. She's making these dolls that are just whoa. Now, Mrs. Copy, I know you had said that you used to draw, right? And so, and that you're doing it again. So I need to check in with you and find out what kind of things you're drawing. Oh, Heather, the amount of skill and practice and all of that it takes to do those things. And, and Mrs. Coffee has a Cricut thing that she's doing stuff with. And, I really admire all of the, because, I've done other stuff other than drawing. Because drawing has been the last creative outlet that I've tried, because I used to, of course, have, I used to do knitting. I had a line of sportswear. I did jewelry. I have an entire studio set up in there to do both semi-precious stone jewelry, art, metalwork, and stuff like that, and polymer clay. I used to do a ton of polymer clay, beads and pins and stuff like that. But this, I locked that studio and I haven't actually been in there. Well, the stereo is in there. The door is unlocked, but I don't even look at it anymore. It's just a room. It's a room full of boxes. I can't really get in there anymore. And yes, don't we all have a room that actually looks like that in our house, or do we? Does everybody have one of those rooms? The room where you actually you open the door and throw stuff in. Sorry. I just put some in the wrong place. Does anybody not have a room like that? I've always had a room like that. Thank you, Shara, for this wonderful tool. I love this tool. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm using a couple of different brushes. The first one is I'll use my control brush, which is my regular water brush. Now, the deal with using a regular water brush like this is that it's probably going to suck up some of the color. And I'm not going to be super fussy if I get a little bit of this color in places that I might not want it, like on the flower petals and stuff, because I can always fix that by using a darker color. I am just not happy with that light. Hang on a second. I need to fix my light. It's ugly. I want it to be warmer. Yes, because it looks dead. I don't want it to look dead. And wait a second, it will, I've forgotten about all of these little tight spaces, but it'll look better here in a second as we work our way out. But I won't be able to get back into these little spots right away. So I just want to get them out of the way. You know what I mean? These little ones underneath. And, Melody, I know we had, we both had these issues. I've been sleeping too much. I know that, it wasn't that long ago you were doing that too. So it's like, why doesn't the world just let us sleep normally? Are we just not wired that way? Is that what it is? Your spare bedroom now has something's moved out. Is your craft room, the laundry room, upstairs on the second floor? We actually brought the washer and dryer up from the basement. Now, I've seen a lot of people do that. I've always been worried about that because I worry about the water leaks, but I mean, it's actually a smart thing to move your your washing machine up to where the clothes actually are, up to where the dirty clothes actually are. That actually makes sense to me. Um, and but yeah, I don't know why I've got this sort of trauma and drama thing going on. Thank you, Heather. Going on with that room, and I don't know exactly what it is. It's like I don't seem to be. I mean, I keep going in there, thinking I should clean this room. I should, at bare minimum, I should dust it, or I should, get the jewelry supplies out of it and sell them. Because there's gold in there. There are silver bits. There's lots of bindings. There's a ton of earrings in boxes. I don't even know what's in there anymore. Um, my show tents and stuff like that are all out in the garage. Uh, I just need to get rid of all that stuff because I'm not going to go back to it. It's not knowing where to start with tidying that. Yes, thank you, Heather. Yes, that's probably exactly it. It's just easier to close the door, you know, just so much easier. Okay, so that was this was I called it, I think, the light blue. This is more the turquoisey blue. So I'll come out here with a little more of this turquoisey blue. I drew this thing. You'd think I'd know where stuff is, right? I'm confusing myself. Now, you don't have to be, unless you're using very light strokes of pigment, you don't have to be too fussy about the placement of Neo because it'll melt just fine. But if you are trying to use it very subtly, if you are trying to get it to be light in certain spots or whatever, then it is best to go ahead and scribble it on a palette like this and then wet it into a paint, because then you get slightly more so you can see I'm doing the same thing over here, only instead of excuse me, picking up the palette or picking it up off the palette, I'm doing it directly on the page. Now, Neos are, I think that they're just ridiculously priced, but they are a very cool tool. And what makes them different is than Neos or than my Inktense is that this is watercolor paint. It is so it can actually be washed out and lightened up. And yeah. But you can then get a really cool sort of gradient Neos are a lifesaver, especially. I agree. I agree absolutely, Melody. You can do some very interesting things with your Neos as far as backgrounds and stuff like that. Whereas the Inktense, it would take quite a while to fill those, spaces in. And they're not waxy. And you get good color intensity. And you can put in a background, which I like. And I also like the fact that it does end up, because it's an effect that I particularly like, is it ends up being just a little bit splotchy. Looks cut out with the table, yes. With the tablecloth background. Oh, I like that. I like that. I have one of those. I have a beautiful old ivory colored tablecloth that was hand crocheted by one of the great grandmothers or great cousins, or not cousins, but one of the great aunts. And oh, by the way, before I go any further, hi, Michelle, and I am fine today. Thank you. And to anybody who has come in the room or in while I have been waxing poetic about my Neo colors, hi, and welcome, welcome. And please back up and read your message. Okay, hang on. Hi, okay, hi, Cuz. Hang on, I'm Donna. Wait. Oh, okay. Wait, hi, Donna. All right, hang on. I'm still going. And hi, Risa. And hang on, I'm still going. I don't know how much further back I can go. I've obviously missed it. Can you tell me again? Oh, please back up and read my message. Okay. I can't find it. I'm sorry, Robin. I will go back and look. Hang on, rain chains for less. Rain chains for less. Hi, Mona. Okay, I've got a hi, Mona, and a hi, Cuz, and a hi, Kathy. Grr. I can't find it. I'm I'm sorry, Robin. I can't find it. And hi, Robin loves reading. And hi, Corolla. My apologies, Robin. Can you put it in again? Okay. And I will try not to miss it this time. Sorry. I like I say, I do apologize. And okay, I'm just trying to see who else I might have missed. 2:35. I realize that it's probably timestamped for you. Oh, you wait. Are you in live chat? It's at 2:35. Oh no, I was in top chat. Live chat. I still don't have timestamps, even in live chat. Sorry, it doesn't have timestamps for me. And you can only go back a little ways. I can only go back a little ways on my live screen. Yeah, see, Cher can't find it either. I apologize that I can't find it. I've had that happen several times. And it's especially disconcerting when I see somebody talking to someone and I can't see them. And yet, I've seen them in other streams. So I know that I'm not, I know they haven't blocked me or anything like that. That happened in other stream last night. I was watching a couple people. I could see one side of the conversation, but I could not see the other side. Okay, if you have cabochons for sale, you're always in the market. You do wire weaving and wrapping. I actually do have a few. I do have a few cabochons that are not glued down. Hang on one second. There you go. Bear with me. Okay. There they are. These two things are sort of, these are more precious than anything else. These are actually Australian opals. And so those are slightly more on the small fortune side. But I have some really nice ones. Now these are all rock, stone, but I also have some semi-precious stone ones as well. So anyway, send me an email. I need to go. That's what I really need to do. The problem is, here's what happened. I was making jewelry at a time when you went to Tucson to the Gem and Mineral Show once a year, and you bought your main supply, and then you filled in around. You filled in around it, for the year. So I would go to the Gem and Mineral Show, spend, usually $10,000 to $15,000, and buy all the jewelry or all the raw materials from the show, and then I would use that to make my jewelry all year long. Well, now, of course, you can get stuff from China there's just no money in it anymore. It's cheap. I've got old stock. There's no way I'm going to be able to recover what I spent on it. And that is also another one of the reasons that keeps me from selling it. Although, the argument could be made that better to get something out of it than nothing. Because right now it does me absolutely no good. But I'd be selling it into a China glutted market. And but like, for instance, I have Sugalite from when Sugalite was before the new reserves of it were found. And so, I bought it when it was still so rare that, it had been mined out. Well, now, of course, oh, shoot. I did that, didn't I? Now, of course, they found new reserves of it, so it's not worth nearly what I paid for it. I have a ton of rhodochrosite that way as well. Absolutely gorgeous rhodochrosite that is just to die for, striated. And you can, it's not as beautiful. The color from China, and the striations are not nearly as beautiful as the inventory that I have, but I just can't, I can't get out of it what it's, what I paid for it. And that is a hard pill for me to swallow. Okay, so I just want to finish because I want to go to the outside of this with more blues. So you can see, because then I'm also going to add some greens in. Just trying to be, there we go. Okay, so now we can go to the next blue, but I want to still pull some of this blue out of here, right? Now, y'all know that I have a tendency to be very, what is it? Symmetrical. Everything is sort of symmetrical, so it always ends up looking the same. I have some gorgeous old malachite. I do have malachite cabochons. I've got all kinds of cabochons, actually. Jaspers, tons of different jaspers, tons of quartzes. I just need to get in there and get an inventory out and start selling it off. Excuse me. Should probably wait until the post office starts acting right. Oh no, bye, Michelle. Speaking of which, Robin, do you, excuse me, do you have an Etsy shop or something like that? Okay, so there's that. Now we can Ooh. This is an interesting transition. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. Let's try that. Well, hang on. Let's try it. Before we get all right, but let's do this also. Okay. So, yeah. All right, let's do this. Here's a little, yeah. All right, that's. Just want to, having tons of fun here, guys. As you can see, I'm just going crazy. And let's do that. Let's just go sort of crazy. So you can do something along these lines, sort of putting all sorts of different colors in there, just so long as they're all blues. And I just want to see how this is going to work. So you all think that I haven't gone nuts, right? And then maybe some light blue up here. Okay. So let's see what that works. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a bigger brush. Okay, and this is my clean water. So this one, the small jar, will be forever designated as my clean water. I also have a bit more control. All right. With this brush. And I'm actually doing little circular strokes. So this is sort of different than I do with Neos or with Inktense. I don't usually do little circular strokes with my Inktense. And the reason is because this is watercolor, and so it can be, you lose the intensity of the color if you stroke it out, right? So you can see that you get quite a bit of work time. All right. Now I am saturating this page, okay, with water, and this is not watercolor paper, so you do have to keep in mind that you don't want to, you don't want to scrub at it to the point where you start to peel the paper up. you have to just let the weight of the brush do your little scrubbing bit. You're not pressing, you're more just letting it dance across the surface of the paint or the surface of the crayons. But this cardstock is a lot more hardy than you think it is. And as long as you're not going back, I wouldn't go back over any of that while it's wet. You have to wait till it's completely dry, then you can go back over it with another layer or so I'm just creating little clouds, little sweeping clouds of color. In just little circles. Oh, I love it. Ooh. Now I'm going to continue probably the dark all the way to the edge of the page, but I did want to show you so you can sort of do that. But you see then how it leaves that sort of cool, that cool effect. And you're just scribbling. All you're doing is scribbling. Actually, all you're doing is scribbling. You're just having fun. Excuse me. You're just having fun playing games. This is a dark purple. And you don't want to use just tons of it, but and then you can maybe add some more of that around there, some more of the light up there, some of this color around there, maybe some of that coming up a bit. Not a very big spot. Then there's excuse me. You can feel it start to pull at you when you get down here to touch it on that wet part. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. Oh. My poor cat, he's looking at me like, she's looking at me like, Mom, can't I come up? No. Okay, so there's a little of that. All right, now I should, scribbling, that's all it is. I'm just scribbling. Just having a good old time. And just having fun. Changing back and forth between different colors. No rhyme or reason. Certainly no reason. trying hard to actually keep it off the stuff that really matters. Oh, Susan, bye. It occurs to me that you poor thing, you can't even see this, can you? Rest well. Get a good night's sleep. I know it's what, 8 something there, so okay. And I'll be watching Sammy's channel. I know she said yesterday what date your surgery is, but I want to say it was the 8th, but so that would be, might have been the 3rd. But I'll be watching. I'll be watching, and then we'll be watching for you to come right on back. Okay. And really, all you're doing is scribbling. I like scribbling. So I'm putting them, I'll try to put them a little tighter in toward here. And then maybe a little bigger of a dark, area. Out here. I love these. It's been a long time since I've used my Neos. And October 8th, I think Sammy said. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was October 8th. So I am just glad that medicine has reached a point where, because there would have been a time where something like that would result in blindness. That was it, right? You'd be blind, period. And now there's something that can be done, and people recover, and you get your eyesight back, and you realize just quite how precious that actually is. I know that when I blow my vision out, which I do quite regularly, it's the scariest thing in the world. And when I say blow it out, I mean I can't focus on anything. I cannot even imagine. I cannot imagine if I got to a point where I couldn't focus. I just couldn't make my eyes focus. And yet, there are people who live whole lives. And, some are even artists who have never been able to focus their eyes. I guess you adapt, but nonetheless. I like this. I like the way these colors are playing together. Now I may add some darker tones inside as well. Inside here, because right now it sort of stands off the, I'll leave it for right now, but I think I may like this mottled effect better than this straight color effect. And you just be patient with it. Work little bits at a time in your little circles. If you see a spot where you want it to be a little different color, treat it, or a little darker, treat it like you would a wet on wet watercolor. Just sort of tap the brush in and it'll come up and spread. Blue light blocker glasses. Actually, I have I have a really good screen, so I can set it to low blue light. But and this is where I guess I have to make a bit of a confession. A lot of times, if I blow my vision out, it isn't that I've actually spent so much time drawing or or doing computer work or all of that, because I mean, none of us could actually do that. As long as I'm sitting at the desk, I can't actually be working because my brain just, it just wouldn't let me. But I play a couple of computer games, like especially one where I play in a guild. And when there's a guild challenge on, and in order to be able to see the game screens, because they're dark, I actually have to turn on the blue light again, because I've got a low blue light setting on my screen or on my monitor. But in order to see the screen, I have to, when I play, I actually have to set it to multimedia, which is the blue light. So, yeah. And of course, you have to play with the lights off, because a lot of the stuff that you need to find is you can't see it if there's ambient light on around you. So, it isn't, but sometimes it's because I've been working too hard. The answer to your question, though, ultimately is yes. And yes, it works. I haven't actually tried them when I play, though. I haven't tried them when I play. I should probably do that. But like if I'm working, I am liking the way that is turning out. My goodness. But if I am working, like if I'm digitizing a drawing, and when I say digitizing, I mean I hand draw it, then I scan it, but then I have to clean it up in the pixel. And when I say clean it up, what I mean is you have to vector your drawings to make the black lines. When you draw with a pen, the pen lays down color for you, the ink, in the center, but then along the sides, it's actually like a spray, right? Well, that affects the way a good digital printer that actually prints our books out acts. So you have to vectorize your drawings by running them through the scanner and then through a vector program, which eliminates all of that. And then once that is done, then you go in and do cleanup of all your little overdrawn lines, where maybe you went just a little bit too far with the pen. And so, there's a little bit of this line down in there, and you get all of that out before you send it off to the printer, right? That's the kind of work that I'm talking about when I say That's what I'm doing. I will say that my friend Susan and I, Susan Curry, we had an all-out knockdown drag-out this week. So that was a bit of drama in my life. We do not support the same political candidate. Let's put it that way. So it got a little ugly there for a while. But then I realized what was happening, you know. That is exactly what they want. They want us at each other's throats. So Sue and I have said no. At any rate, that sent me to my computer game because I usually only play when I'm upset about something. Or if there's a guild competition. So now you could do this with any set of colors. So if you wanted to do say a pink and a, we all secretly play computer games. I agree. I agree, Robin. We all do. I used to love Myst. I played Myst and Ribbon all the time, and I love them because they are single person games. At least they were when I played. I don't know if they still are. And of course, I never spend money on computer games. Not I have a hard and fast rule that says I'll buy the game once, but I will not ever make in-game purchases. Oh, Robin, I know. I absolutely loved it. It was, at the time, it was the best computer game out there. I mean, graphically, it was superior to everything. And then because it was puzzle oriented, it wasn't action oriented. And so, Robin, you have an analytic, exacting mind like I do. Your automatic go-to is to know the answer. If not know it, find it. And I'm that way as well. And which is why I recognize it sort of in you. But at any rate, so a game like that really appealed to us. Now, I did not play as much Ribbon as I did Myst. I bought Ribbon, but I had moved on to something else, and then never ended up getting back to it. And by the time that I thought to get back to it, the computer that I had it installed on was gone, and it's like, okay, and the CDs I were with someone else at that point in time, so it's like, yeah, it's what I recognize you in that, Robin, and which is why both of us have always got to be aware that, that we're not always the smartest kids in the class. Or if we are, it's not socially acceptable for us to say so. Oh, excuse me. Oh, 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 oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to toot at you. Two things. One, I'm so mad at Anne for taking that video down before I had a chance to watch it. I understand that for those of you who might have been there, hilarity ensued. This is Anne at A Colorful Life. Apparently the video is still there, but she's taken it private. And if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. If you weren't there, I don't want to disappoint you, but apparently it was fun. And the other thing is, every once in a while, somebody just surprises the heck out of you. Now, for some reason, I have Barbara Barnes, who I love Barbara Barnes. I have her sort of categorized as being very conservative and somehow in my head. But she posted a story that was so darn funny about a couple and their first date, and it's on her Facebook page, and it's just, oh my goodness, I was laughing so hard I about fell out of my chair. And it's a woman who, sort of meets the man of her dreams. They go out on their first date. He treats her to, this absolutely stunning dinner of this rich food that she hasn't eaten in forever. And on the way back in the car, she gets the urge to fart. not not your dainty little silent fart, but your gut wrenching. You are about to have an episode of explosive diarrhea fart, and she's trying to keep it in, and at any rate, and so it's she's telling this story, and oh my gosh, it is just hilarious. Absolutely the most hilarious thing I've read in a while. Just to prove that we all do, every once in a while, channel a 12-year-old boy. You saw it. Louise, you saw it. Yes, exactly. Anyway, I think it's just hilarious. Because it's so true, and then we get embarrassed about stuff like that. I am sort of now, and I think about Mrs. Coffee anytime that I, spend the time to actually put on real clothes to walk up to the 7-Eleven. I'm like, who am I going to see here? Who am I going to see here that cares whether or not I'm wearing my pajama bottoms or not? Am I going to run into Mr. Wright at the 7-Eleven at 4 o'clock in the morning? I doubt it. Why do I have to put on real pants and real clothes to do that? I hope that this is not boring for you guys watching me do this. But this is, this is sort of this is how we color. Sometimes coloring is tedious when you're trying to get through the first bits of it, and get on to being able to do this. But I'm really liking that. Now this part is completely dry, So we now know that this is what it's going to look like. And I like it because it looks like sort of these many, many layers of clouds and and all this kind of good stuff. People ask me all the time, can I cover up your signature? Yes, because you're not really covering it up. You're just, you're just obscuring it a little. So yes, you can do that. I only ask that you don't white it out or anything like that. It does appear on every page, and it truly is a copyright measure. It's a copyright protection measure is really what it is. In case you want to know why some artists do it, some artists don't. I have a tendency to go ahead and put my signature on every page. Some people hate it. And I say, well, they're allowed to hate that. And and I don't have an issue with that. It does not mean that I will stop doing it. I did start. I looked at a lot of times. What I do is I review games. Because like Robin here, Robin loves reading. I've read Robin's reviews of books, and they're very good. And I like to write reviews, and so I especially like to test out new games. And this is more, that's one of those hobbies kind of thing. And but I tried one. I mean, it's. I don't even. I've got the name of it. What is the name of it? Hang on. The name of it is Mystery Manor Hidden Objects. All right. Now, of course, it stands to reason, right, that an artist would like these graphically rich. I just want to get some of this off of here. These graphically rich games. And this particular one is especially nice. And it's even got the coolest, it's got a little mini game in it, which is a match 3. Seashells and stuff like that. And when you have success at it, the cat purrs. There's a sound effect of a cat purring, which I think is kind of cool. But as beautiful and as graphically rich as it is, it's one of those games that's just confusing in the first degree. The colors are so bright. The graphics are so sharp, so sharp that they hurt. That's the only way I can say it. They hurt. I play another one, which is it's by my Tote, and it's Seeker's Notes. I play that one, which I love. Seeker's Notes, Hidden Mystery or something. I don't know. The G5 games, to me, are just too graphically rich. They're just too graphically rich. I like the Matona game. And they're all formulaic. I mean, they're all hunt for these various things in these various modes: alphabetical, silhouette, upside down, anagram, things obscuring it on the screen. Yes, and the timer to find everything goes faster and faster. Yes. And unfortunately, oh, Corolla. Okay, sweetheart. You have a good night. You have a good week, okay? A good week of working. Now, are you guys back actually working all the time? Like on like has it returned to normal there? Is what I'm asking. I doubt it, but because it has, I don't think it's returned to normal anyway. So Florida, don't ask Floridians about it though, because they're not happy. Okay. All right. So that is, I don't believe it. That is the last bit of it. Some Floridians are probably over the moon, and others are not happy. Okay. So first thing I got to do is go back to the little spots that I missed. Now you'll notice, right, that as wet as I have made some of these this paper, it isn't buckling, it isn't curling up, it isn't doing any of that stuff. So this particular paper is the I think it's just the standard Georgia Pacific 110 pound cardstock available at Walmart, but I can double check that for you. Let me just get this. Now I am, I'm not doing it all at once, obviously. I stopped and wet part of it and then moved on to color another part and then wet another part. So that it had a chance to dry more, in bits, bits of wet, bits of dry. And I don't know if maybe that is one of the reasons why it has not buckled or just keep dipping it. If you get a spot that's too dark or too sharp, you can just work it out a little bit. If you don't like how, if you've got a little bit too much of a change there, the word I'm looking for is sharp transition. Well, I whistled. Sharp transmission. Sharp transition. sharp transmission. I love it. That is the other thing, reason why I limit. I actually have to limit how much games I play. Because otherwise I start calling stuff all sorts of strange names. Everything else in life, moderation. You're in Florida, it's horrific. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. That's what I thought. Mr. DeSantos has lost his freaking mind. But what can you say? Okay. I like it. I like it. However, I do want to add, whoops, hello, Christine. All right, now, the one thing about it is this stuff cleans up like nobody's business. It just comes straight off of anything with just water. So remember that. All right, now, I was going to, actually, I was going to say, yeah, Georgia Pacific, 110 pound, 150 sheet cardstock, right? Well, that is at $5 at Walmart. And this is the package for these chopping mats. They're big. They're like this big, which is 2 8.5 by 11-inch sheets. And then, so what is that? 2 8.5, 11, 8.5, 16. Thank you. I think there's 16 by 8.5 or 16 by 11. Oh, well. Yes, there we go. They're 11 by 14-inch sheets. And there's two. When in doubt, pay attention to the packaging. Okay, this is what I want. So we're going to put some there, and some there, and some there. Whoops, I already did that one. Some there. I've already got that one. That's okay. So what I want to do is I want to take some of this. And just put some of it around, you know what I mean? So that it extends the look all the way inside. Because I don't like how harsh this was. And I'm doing this one with the water brush as opposed to the bigger brush, because this one has its water already inside, so it's not diluting the color. I can actually put it down just like that. And get a little color variation in there. Create like little, see how it sort of brings it back into number 3, the most in the US. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw that. I watch. You all have a great thinker down there with a YouTube channel. What I like about Bo of the Fifth Column is that he doesn't push an agenda. That isn't what his channel is about. His channel is about thinking and thought and responsibility and and being a good citizen, and and the fact that that does require action on. I mean, it requires us to actually be citizens. To pay attention to to what our government is doing. I think we have become um, as an electorate, we have become very apathetic. We figure that we can't change anything, so why should we even bother caring? And that, what that brings to mind is the old saying that, evil triumphs when good men do nothing. And I would add to that, or when people stop paying attention to it. If you don't like a certain aspect of something going on at your company or your neighborhood or your, or whatever, you take action, right? You complain, you write to your city council, um, I don't know, you pick up a sign and, protest a business, you tell people about a negative experience that you had, you do something, you take action. But so much now, we all just throw up our hands and say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Well, except that we can. Except that we can. I watch, and I believe unfairly, that while you cannot say that this gentleman in the White House has been a good example throughout all of this, I also don't think you could actually blame him for outbreaks that occur at, after his rallies or anything like that. And I'll tell you why. Because those people that come are actually able to think. They were given brains at birth. And so they know, they've seen the evidence, they've heard they've heard the voice, his voice, any voice, say how dangerous this thing is. And so if they come without masks and without caution and without, they shouldn't be surprised if they get sick. Because that guy is professionally distanced by virtue of what he does for a living. He's completely distanced from people. You can't get near the president of the United States physically. Any president, well, let alone this one or any president, without a lot of pre-planning and stuff like that. The Secret Service, that's what they're there for, man. They're there to keep folks away, unless he's specifically there to do a handshaking thing or something like that. And in the days of COVID, you haven't seen that. There isn't any of that going on. So anyway, it's not to say that I think that the response has been any good. It's just not. There's just, you have to be smart about, you, you can't blame for stuff. You can't blame somebody for, you can't blame Joe because Jerry didn't use his brain, that kind of thing. In the meantime, when I go out, I wear a mask and I stay away, a long distance away, from anybody who isn't wearing a mask. Fortunately, this is Virginia. And here in Virginia, I don't know whether it's because we have a lot of military or, we just are generally a compliant bunch. But the vast majority of us are obeying the rules, and I think that's probably the case in a lot of places. I will say one interesting thing. Because of the part of Virginia that I'm in, being very military, in years past, it has always been a given that when you drive down any neighborhood street, you see signs, political signs. Almost all of them are, for one candidate or the other. Oftentimes they are Republican candidates because, being the military, they're, very loyal to the commander in chief, that kind of thing. Not only do we not see any signs this year, none. I mean, zip, zero, zilch, maybe two. I was out and about, and I drove around looking for them. I saw 2 Trump Pence signs. I saw 2 Biden Harris signs, and otherwise there's no signs anywhere. And I thought that was a very interesting psychological exercise. It's like, wonder what that means. Okay. So we have a background. You all aren't saying a word. You waiting to find out. Waiting to find out if I'm going to commit career suicide and hang myself? No, I'm not. You'll never hear me say, you'll never hear me name call. I won't name call. My goodness. That would make me as bad as them. I will tell you that I am not happy with the administration. And that is about all I will say. I will not call anybody names or foolishness or anything like that because that's just not who I am. And I don't find it helpful. If you want to approach me on issues, then I will talk all you want on issues. But I'm not going to bash somebody just because they're, they just were not cut out to do a particular job. Okay. All right, now, so this is the background that we're going to work with. And it's 3:46. Okay. If you all can give me just a very, very, very small, short break to go pay some rent on the coffee that I've been slamming down, I will we'll do some flowers, and I'm thinking that we will do those in what? While I'm gone, you think about that. I'll be right back. Right back. And if Joe Beth isn't going to come on, I might even stick around. If she is, I'll go. Okay. Yay. Okay, never takes me very long. All right. So you're not even talking to each other. Are you all thinking? Have I put you all to sleep? Or have you all rushed over to watch Bo of the Fifth Column? Which I would not object to at all. I think that he ought to be, God, he knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. Okay. Now, all right, good. Now I could continue on with Neos. There are certainly wonderful colors here to work with. Like I said, the 40 set. Now, I was lucky enough to pick up this set on eBay, used for $25. And normally a set like this is substantially more expensive. The guy was selling it for $25 because he had cleared out somebody's art supplies and it had broken crayons, right? A bunch of broken crayons. Well, now we all know that with Neos, broken doesn't matter. You can take it off the edge of the, the end of the crayon itself, like this. Although I find that tedious, I would much rather use the other end and scribble it on something like this, because that means I can take some water like that. Whoops, you can't see that. Put it out there, right? Then I can take it in here and get as intense as I want to with that color. So I can just, plus I love that it goes, you all know that this is what I love about the water mediums, right? I love to color, but I don't want to spend a lifetime working on one particular page. I love pencils. And let me see if I can get the, ooh, here we go. And I could do that. I could color with pencils, but I could color so much faster with a brush. Of course, this is painting. As my friend Virginia is quick to point out, this is painting. It's not coloring. And I say that's semantics. This is coloring. Hello, Melinda. And it is lovely to see you, my dear. And welcome, welcome. I hope you are feeling good today. And I'm doing a base coat of this lighter yellow. And then I'll add some highlights with the more golden yellow. But I just want to get a little bit of a base in here. Now, I do want to give credit where credit is due. I did sort of steal this color palette from Heather Color and Felt. I wish I knew, or not, sorry, Heather Coloring Club Heather, Australian Heather. My brain. yeah, I watched Bo. Bo actually apparently lives in Florida, and so when he's doing a satirical piece, he wears a hat that says it's got a Curious George. I mean, the first thing is that all of his videos are filmed in exactly the same way. So the thumbnails all look almost exactly the same. He's in this basically it's a shed um, with a metal roof, so he can't actually record in there when it rains. Um, but he lives in Florida. Got a wife, bunch of kids, and judging. I mean, he puts up a video, and within like 5 hours, he's got 50,000 views. Um, so he's not unknown. He's not an unknown. But this latest satirical one he put up about Florida reopening was pretty funny. He's, he has a variety of backdrops that he uses, and he got a backdrop of a morgue. I'm sorry. And he's like, "Come on down to Florida. We got plenty of room." As he points to the morgue. Um, I mean, I realize that it's not funny, but at some point in time, you have to see the humor. We're not worried about it. The average vacation only lasts a week. So you come down here, you get infected, you go home, and you're a drain on your own state's medical system. Jeez Louise, talk about morbid humor. Not funny for those of us who know people who have passed away of this awful disease. It's called Bow of the Fifth Column. And Melinda, if you look in my video from my live video from the last, I think, couple of weeks, there's a direct link. But BEAU of the Fifth Column. If somebody wants to put in a link, I would not have an objection to that. I like him. It's not, I mean, you're not, when you go there, you're not going to hear anti-Republican or anti-Democrat or anti-anything like that. That is not what his channel is about at all. It's not anti-anything. It's be an engaged citizen. I especially like, when he talks about or nor will they ever have it completely right. There's always going to be things that could be better, things that could be worse, as the consent of the governed, as attitudes change, as circumstances change, and all of that. But what I love about him is that he's the kind of guy that you would want mediating mediating your battle, because he has an uncanny ability to hit the nail on the head as far as just it's just a thought, and that's how he presents all of his pieces. He gives you these deep thinking, these deep thinking thoughts, and leaves you going, huh, wow. You not only did you just actually learn something, but I've said for years that one of the biggest problems that we have in our country, whether or not you are regardless of what side of any issue you stand on, is that we've become so apathetic. We've become so, so us, them. And so, well, why should I bother participating? There's nothing in it for me. That kind of thing. Public service is a job for a reason. I mean, it's a calling. It's not a, it's not, people get into it for different reasons, and it's not greed. At least it doesn't start out that way for most people. They're not, it's not about power. It's about service. It's about being of service. And that's one of the things that, that I think he stresses is that, when the guys who uprooted their families and, moved across the sea to, to explore America, and who built a community and then needed to govern it, they made a lot of mistakes. They got a lot of things right. But the genius of the founding fathers is evidenced in the Constitution, and so many of us know so little about the laws that are made, how they're made. The fact that ours is a government of the people, and we are the people. We all get so entranced by the idea that the government is this amorphous thing out there. It's not. It's us. We are the government of the people, by the people, for the people. We elect representatives. If we elect those representatives irresponsibly, then we have to fix it. Because they're not going to fix it. They're just, which is why we need to make sure we're educated, and which is why a free and fair press is so important. But on the other hand, recognizing when a press becomes biased. We've got cable network news. Now I don't have any issues with cable, or it's a service that was originally put together where it funded itself based upon subscriptions. That was originally what cable did or does, as opposed to the old model, excuse me, which was funded on advertising. And but regardless, all of these news divisions are in the entertainment arm of these cable stations, and not a. I mean, this is why I think I briefly mentioned it in a video, that I had actually been sort of looking at the background of some of these revered or at least widely listened to pundits. Basically they're just guys with an opinion, and they don't have any background at all in investigative journalism. So basically all you're hearing is their opinion. And I'm like, well, okay, but what about you is so special that I think that your opinion should influence mine. because that's, yeah, I mean, this is what we're looking to these people to do. They're trying to, they want to tell you how to think. Thank you. I have a brain. Hopefully, I got a little education. I can read. I can listen. I can watch the speech myself. It's broadcast live just about everywhere. I don't really need you to tell me what I heard or what it means. I'm able to watch who this person is, who they're being. This is regardless of whatever side you are on. So why do we let these guys shape our thoughts? Is it just that they agree with us, or that we've decided to think this and they're willing to feed that? Is that what is that what drives it? We've got, we decide that we're against something or for something, and so then we start looking only for people who agree with us or will feed that idea. Hang on. I'm going to mute for just a second. I'll be right back. Oh, that's a little better. Oh, I'm trying to get a lung spasm to calm down. But I guess my point is how do we know we're right if we never are willing to look at the other side? Bye, Heather. Thank you so much for being here, dear. And I will be on the lookout. Whoa. Oh, that's better. That is better. And thank you, ladies, for those links. Heather, I know she put in Bo. And Melinda, I don't know what that one is, but I'll look at it. I'll have to wait and go back through the chat so I can pick that one up. Okay. So this is just a little bit goodness. I apologize, everybody. This is just a little bit of this darker sort of taxi cab yellow. And I like it. And I'm going to be able to then add a little bit more color definition, I think, to these with a pencil once they're dry. But I think that this brush is going to be too big to do any fine detail work on these little flowers. But I can get them a little more golden yellow. I probably should have started with this color, but instead of that lemon yellow, but I wanted to see what that would look like. So anyway, so that is, that's sort of the definition of an open mind, is being able to at least look at the other side to maybe discover if there are any, any ideas that are worthy there of examining that might be different than your own, and how to maybe apply or incorporate them to modify our own thoughts about a particular issue. It's not to say we're completely wrong about this or that or something else, but maybe there is an idea coming from the other side that you didn't think about, or that you hadn't considered, or that a consequence, the unintended consequences of, a particular action or inaction, that kind of thing. So, but so much of today, you ask folks, basic questions about government and how it works. The three co-equal branches. I mean, and people don't know how the U.S. was set up to work. The fact that no one branch is supposed to ever be able to make the rules. They all have to act together, and in the event they cannot act together, we have a Supreme Court who is the arbiter, arguably one of the most important of the branches, but also not infallible. But incapable of acting on its own. All three of the branches are. They're co-equal checks and balances. When you stop checking and balancing, okay. When you stop checks and balances, you run into you run into big problems. You run into kings. You run into autocracies and into dictatorships, and directly into the arms of trouble. But it's they say that being a citizen is a responsibility. It is. A citizen of any country, it's a responsibility, and it's one in which we should all take it a little bit more seriously. And thus ends the lecture for today. about an educated electorate. And I don't mean educated with books. I mean educated in knowing what the heck is going on. Start in your own neighborhood. Know what is the zoning of the empty lot across the street from your house. Do you even know? I can tell you where you can find out. The fear would be having one side control all three branches of government. Precisely, Annette, precisely. But the thing about it is that, whether or not you are Democratic, Republican, or like I am, right in the middle. You're sort of in the middle. I am fiscally conservative, socially probably I lean, toward being extremely open-minded. As long as no harm is being committed, children aren't being harmed, that kind of thing. I'm pretty much of a live and let live kind of person. So, so I guess you could call me socially liberal. But I'm overall, I'm moderate. I'm moderate. I don't think the government should be paying people to live off when they could. I think that they need to address fraud in medical, fraud in Medicare would go a long way toward making me feel better. There's just all, it's a gajillion things, I guess. And nonetheless, I think I want these to be orange. Now I am going to depart a little bit from, I'm going to try this color. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then this color. Ooh, that might be pretty close to the same, but we shall see. So I don't know. It just sort of makes me crazy sometimes. Yeah, you know what? Let's try this. I want to try this. It's a little redder than I intended, but I think that's okay. So, but remember that this is water based. So, and all I'm doing is I'm doing this. Oh, I like that. Okay, wait. Why am I going the wrong direction? Okay. Well, I'm down here so tight that I can't get it all in. So you'll just have to imagine that you can see. Yeah, I can put it up there. Okay. So I guess the bottom line is that I don't watch, although I could, when I need to, if I'm feeling especially frustrated, I have a tendency to watch Rachel Maddow only because she's so smart. She really is. She's so smart. She has a way of being both respectful and just devastatingly sharp, you know. No, actually, Daryl Lynn, I'm using neo colors like watercolor, um, which are basically water soluble crayons, and yeah. Okay, so I like that. Now this actually is a flower out here. So I am going to use this. I'm going back to this yellow, and I'm going to use that to the inside. And hi, Daryl Lynn, by the way. And I'm glad that you made it. What color is the inside flower? That Momona? This is what we're doing here. And I'm going to use this which is going to tie that yellow into the inside. Okay. So now we pulled the yellow from out here inside. Which we wanted to do. Okay, so that's the yellow. Now I can use, okay, let's do this. Let's go even further with it. Let's go here, down here. Okay, now this is that sort of brighter color orange, which is the same color that I used to the outside here. So I'm just continuing it up. Okay, and then let's try this one, which is a lighter orange still. Okay, because we can change this. Oops. See, my brush got really wet. And just the transition there is not as noticeable as I had hoped. I may end up wow. Well, that really got wet. You see what I mean about you can actually blend out those sort of harsher lines because it is water and it's not ink. You get extra work time with it. I mean, granted, once it sinks into the paper, there is a certain amount, well, you know, there's not much you can do. But if you just let it soak together and then go back and touch it, you'll be a little more successful with getting those colors to blend out. I will, by the way, go back and, oh, your husband did too. Oh, good. Yeah, we have a Sue Gregory. We have Susan Wilkes is going through that right now as well. So, okay, so there's the orange. Now the outer one should also be orange, but because I want these to be orange as well. So I want to tie this in. So let's do that. Let's tie in the red. Or not the, it's, I mean, I hesitate to call it red because this is actually more of an orange. It's more of a red orange. A tomato red. Maybe not a tomato red. I don't know. So it looks like it has blue undertones to me. So it could just be a red. All right, and then I can use the oranges. To pull that out here. Oh yeah, see, I like that. So because we went so busy on the background, and you see what I mean? You can actually get, like for instance, to clean off that brush. Okay, and then let me, you see this? Where I'd gotten it sort of on the, you can just go in and lift that out. Where you made mistakes. And that is the beauty of Neocolors, everybody, is that you can, in fact, go back and change it. And yeah, it'll be a little shadowed at the end, but that's okay. Because you know what? The only person who's going to notice is you. Everybody else is just going to go, ooh, ah. Ooh and ah. Okay, so now the colors that I had are this red. Like I say, I don't have any names, but this is the number 070. Oops. This is the 060. And this one is the 030. Now I also have I have a tangerine. I have a whole little package that that Morticia sent me. Speaking of Morticia, has anybody seen her lately? Um, I saw her on Instagram the other day, but then I haven't seen her since. And I should write and check on her because I know she has some health issues as well. She's in Sweden. Okay, Mona, you haven't either? All right, thanks. I should write to her and check on her. I've been remiss in doing that. I certainly meant to do it before now. Okay, so once again, you can blend out those, even though it's dry, it's way dry. You can blend out those little mistakes, and you can keep, you can blend out the mistakes. Blend out the mistake. How many times are you going to say blend out the mistakes, Christine? 14 times? No, just a couple. Blend out the colors. Thank you. So as I transition from the orange, or from the red, down to the orange, and as you make that, and it melts the line on that color, and then you can just add and pull it down. Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like the addition of the. Wait, what? Way over your head. Yes, they are water-soluble crayons. They're Neo 2s. And like I said, if you can get a hold of an old set or a used set, that is a perfectly acceptable way to buy them. As far as I'm concerned, I personally, I love the way they perform, but man, I'll tell you what, I would never have been able to own them if I didn't find them, used the way I did. Because a set like this is still, I don't even know what it is. It's over $100 now, I think. It's just ridiculous, is what it is. I mean, they're crayons, for heaven's sakes. But yes, they are fun to play with. They're fun to scribble with, that's for sure. My scribble background. And plus, they make such a pretty palette. And of course, they do make a very special palette for them, but you don't really need that. And I bought that one, and before I realized that I didn't really need it. I was so proud of myself for saving 40. Barb, 40. It used to be, I think back in the day, they made like 120 Wasn't it like 126 of them? But yeah, I have a 40 set, but with the 40 set, and I can tell you also that you can buy them in as little as a 10 set. And with that 10 set, you can make every color in the 40 set. Heck, you can make every color in the 100 and something set. You just have to know a little bit about mixing paint colors. But if you can mix watercolors to get all your different colors, then there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't use a 10 set to mix every color that you see me use. And where is it? This is a 10 set or a 12 set of the Derwent ink tints, which I can always recommend. And then there it is. And this is the 10 set of the Neo colors. And with that set, you can literally mix every single color in this 40 set. Shoot. Okay. And I'm knocking everything off the onto the floor. I had to move. There we go. Bright orange, which you don't have. Yeah, the there's also, I believe, there's a tangerine. And what I did, I'll show you what I did, Barb. I have the tangerine as well. So there's another bright orange, but it's in that elusive box. It's here somewhere. I just have to find it. Okay. What I did, on the other side. Yeah. Okay. So this is all the colors, right? These are the colors I didn't have yet. So the sets that I just got a set. That's the 10 set that I got from Morticia. Had apricot, flesh, phthalo green, bright green, Chinese green, Payne's gray, night blue, turquoise, and purple violet. And so there's all these other sets or all these other colors that you can get. But this is the 40 set. Oh, that's the 40 set continued. Wait. Yeah. So these are the colors for the 40 set. And that's all the way down to the bottom. And these are, oh, okay. These are the set. This is the set that Morticia sent me. Okay. That I have somewhere, but I can't find. It's here. It's here. I know it's here. I just had it in my hand the other day. It's actually in, I know where it is. It's under my desk. Yes. There they are. And sometimes I just have to wait until the picture comes into my head. Because there is one. I know. I just have to search my mind map until I find it. So these are the other colors that I've got. I don't think I'm going to need any of those today because they're not bright colors. And this is all about bright colors. All right, so I'm going to stop working this all the way around for right now because I do want to show you guys a green, and then now hopefully I don't think that Jo Beth came on, so I'm going to use a, see, this one is the 220, so that's like a spring green. Then I'm going to use the 229. Ooh. And that's like a nice foresty green. And then I'm also going to use the 230, which is sort of a yellowy green. Yeah, there's enough water in there. So for the, okay, so for the dark green, this is like actually a dark kind of bluey green, which is weird. Huh. Yeah, all right, so let's try this. We'll come out of these areas with this dark bluey green. Not, oh, sorry. Okay. Not, okay, yeah, it's actually not bad. All right. So we'll come out from those areas. So what I've done is I've flipped my palette over because I found that I was putting my hand in the wet orange paint, which is not a good thing. So as I'm coming out from under this flower here, let's see if we can actually get into the middle of the screen. I'm having very much luck keeping the paint off of the bottom of this. Okay. There's two that I missed. One there, and I find it telling that they are exactly opposite from each other. Okay. And yes, we are down to using a roll of TP. It was easier than the fact that I don't have any Kleenex, but I became an accidental hoarder of TP, so okay. And so this is the green. So we can make that as it's coming out from under. Forgot about those. So you want that one and that one as they're coming out from under these crossover spots. And I'm just putting a little bit of dark in there to sort of mark those. Okay, now I'm using the medium green and mixing it with just a little bit of this lighter leaf green here in the center. And just sort of throwing that in to the stem. Oh, that's better. Okay. And then I can add a little bit of the dark green. So it's very similar in this particular instance, just to watercoloring, you know? You're sort of mixing your greens a little bit. Trying to keep it a little more interesting. Account for shadows. If you've got, deep shadows going on somewhere. Since it's wet, your shadows will automatically sort of spread out. Gradient color of leaf. Demonstrate that one more time. Okay, and then the medium green. And then the dark green. Tap it off. Just sort of blend those little lines just like that. And yet another sort of gradient leaf. And, oh, thank you, Melinda. Oh, yeah, by the way, I should say there are links for this drawing in the description below. And now there's one right there in the chat. And so then you can just, if you've got little harsh lines, this is the beauty of, Neocolor. Even if, and we all see Neocolor used primarily for backgrounds. And for backgrounds, I mean, it is just absolutely the ideal. And this I mixed that sort of medium green with a little bit of the darker green because this is back in the shadows. So it's really going to be sort of a dark one to begin with. Just going to come up there. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, there's no right way or wrong way. If you don't want green stems, let's say you wanted purple stems, the process would be the same. Just pick 3 colors. A light, a dark, and a medium. And go for that. Okay, so now that we've got, let's see. No, that wasn't my intention. Well, so now I'm stuck with it. So I got to use it somewhere because it's on the brush. There we go. A bit of the dark, both areas. Pull that. Okay. And okay. And if you notice that it's hard to get it out, just go for the medium. And a lot of times you can blend it out that way. So you're just going to keep going along and working on your leaves that way. The question, now I do want to add a little bit of the orange to some of these yellow flowers, but I just want it to be a hint here and there, not everywhere. So maybe notice I'm not adding any color now. I'm just sort of blending out, getting rid of any harsh transition lines. Yeah, just like that. Just a blush of color. All right. All right, and I'm going to actually end up calling this one a video, guys. I've already been, I'm over my regular allotted time by a whole hour. And hopefully I have not dug into someone else's time. It's been a while since I've looked at any of the schedules, or if there are even still schedules that people are keeping that show when folks stream. But this is where we are. We're coloring with Neocolors. And yeah. And this is what we've done. So I've waxed poetic about, being a responsible, educated electorate. Electorate being, of course, the body of the people. And how that's important. Always consider the other side's concerns as well. Don't call each other names. It's not productive. And do you have to use Daryl Lynn? That's what I'm using. $5 at Walmart. Good old 110 value cardstock. Thank you, everybody, for choosing to spend some time with me today. For those of you who have been in and out, or those of you who have been in and stayed, thank you very, very much. To my moderators who are just incredible, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. I am not paper fussy at all, Darylyn. And, well, I'm very glad that you were here as well, Melinda. I have missed you a lot, although I understand why you have been away. I hope you do feel better. And to everybody else, until we meet again, you all know, big, huge hugs. This is in my Etsy shop, Donna, and there's a link that Melinda put in just below. Anyway, please, everybody, color something pretty. There will be another midweek video, I promise, on this, and I am going to color it this week. So, and that will continue. In the meantime, I've got a new drawing underway, new book in the works. Bye, everybody. Don't forget about the discount coupon. There's a discount coupon in the description. All right. Color something pretty. Bye.